It started like any other day in the quiet town of Amstetten, Austria. But by nightfall, 18-year-old Elisabeth Fritzl had vanished. No witnesses, no clues, just a letter and a father with an explanation. What no one knew was that just beneath their feet, beneath the very home she grew up in, Elisabeth was still there. Trapped. This is the real-life horror story of Elisabeth Fritzl, the girl who was held captive for 24 years by her own father in a homemade dungeon. August 28, 1984. Elisabeth had just turned 18. She'd been struggling with her strict home life and was eager for more freedom. That morning, she packed a small bag and left a note behind, claiming she had run away to join a religious cult. Her father, Josef Fritzl, told police he wasn't surprised. After all, Elisabeth had run away once before. He seemed devastated, cooperative, even produced a second letter, postmarked weeks later, supposedly written by Elisabeth, urging her family not to look for her. The police accepted it. No red flags, no search. Just like that, she was gone. But the truth was much darker. Unbeknownst to anyone, Josef had been planning something for years. In the late 1970s, he began constructing a secret, hidden basement beneath the family home. A soundproof chamber, locked behind 7 doors, reinforced with concrete. No windows, no escape. On the day Elisabeth disappeared, Josef lured her down to the basement under the pretense of needing help moving something. Once inside, he drugged her, then locked the door. And there she stayed, for 24 years. Inside the small, cold cellar, just 60 square meters, Elisabeth endured unspeakable abuse. Josef would visit almost daily, bringing food, supplies, and horror. Over the years, Elisabeth gave birth to 7 children, all fathered by Josef. 3 of those children, Lisa, Monica, and Alexander, were brought upstairs and raised as adopted children by Josef and his unsuspecting wife, Rosemary. They were told Elisabeth had left the children on their doorstep, unable to care for them. The other 3, Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix, were born and raised in the basement. They had never seen daylight, never breathed fresh air, never played outside. Their entire world was concrete walls, dim lights, and silence. The 7th child died just days after birth. Josef disposed of the body in a furnace. Elisabeth was forced to live with that trauma, isolated and helpless. April 2008. Kirsten, now 19, became critically ill. Her condition was worsening rapidly, and Josef realized he could no longer treat her inside the basement. He finally allowed her to be taken to the hospital. But his story didn't add up. Doctors were suspicious. How could a young woman in such poor health with no medical history suddenly appear out of nowhere? They made a public appeal, asking the girl's mother to come forward. 2 days later, Elisabeth stood face to face with freedom and fear. After 24 years, she made a deal with her father. She would go to the hospital if he promised not to hurt the other children. At the hospital, doctors alerted police. Elisabeth was taken into custody and immediately began telling the horrifying truth. Police raided the Fritzl home. Behind the laundry room, hidden by a bookshelf, was a metal door. Behind that door, a network of passages and rooms, damp, windowless, and silent. The basement was exactly as Elisabeth had described. All her children were found. Some had never been outside. Some had never seen a car, a tree, a sky. Josef Fritzl was arrested the same day. The world watched in disbelief as details emerged. In 2009, Josef Fritzl was charged with murder, rape, incest, false imprisonment, enslavement, and abuse. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in a high-security psychiatric facility. Elisabeth and her 6 surviving children were moved to a secure location. They were given new identities, therapy, and round-the-clock support. In the years since, they've worked to rebuild their lives, far from the eyes of the media. The Fritzl case shocked not just Austria, but the entire world. How could something like this happen in a normal town, in a regular neighborhood, without anyone noticing? The case raised serious questions about missed warning signs, failures in social systems, and the depths of human cruelty. But perhaps the most remarkable part of this story is Elisabeth herself. After decades of unimaginable suffering, she survived. She protected her children, and when the moment came, she found the strength to speak out and bring the truth to light. The story of Elisabeth Fritzl is not just a crime story. It's a story of control, of unimaginable pain, but also of resilience. A hidden prison beneath a family home, a father's betrayal, and and a woman who refused to be broken. Thank you for watching. If this case left you speechless, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more true crime stories that shake the world. Stay safe and stay curious.